Alright, I'm back for another live. Kind of want to play around with some fountain brushes that I haven't used in a pretty long time now. My camera loves focusing. Yeah, I know. It goes out of focus whenever there's not like some like huge dark area to hover on. My camera hates line art. Any advice on choosing a light source or knowing where to spot blacks? Um, oh no, usually I'll just kind of like try to choose. You mean for like just lighting? Usually for like blacks, and tone and different things, I'll use. Here, let me grab my ink too. Usually like for the blacks lately, I've been using it on mostly cast shadow or ambient occlusion where there's like no light. So if I had usually like under the arm, like kind of draw like some kind of thing that would cast shadow. Right. So if I had a character like this, I would put the blacks. Lately, I've been doing this more often, and like having a strong um, cast shadow and ambient occlusion is basically like if you had two things that are really close next to each other, like a ball next to a square. Just there would be like they're so close together that a shadow would cast alongside there. And then also like if something's touching the ground, like there could also be, and that would be pretty dark. And then like since the arm is up over and his back area down here, then I've been putting blacks underneath to where there'd be a lot of shadow casted underneath. And then same for like underneath clothes and different things. And also, I like to put a lot of dark area where the cast shadow of the character himself would be on the floor. And that's kind of how I've been using black silly. And then like more of the directional light source, if it was coming from this way, then I would use more of my gray tones for the directional light source. And you can kind of make that as dramatic as you want. If I really wanted to, that would probably all be in shadow. But oftentimes I won't go like the directional light source can kind of get a little crazy sometimes, especially with like if my light source was up here and shooting downward, like this whole side would probably be in shadow, but I like to leave the characters detail more open. So oftentimes I'll like make that very minimal on the direction or doing like a overhead light. Usually we'll leave more light on the character, so that sort of thing. And yeah, but then like I also mix for blacks and different things. I'm also doing like the material and how dark the value is. So like let's say a character's a character's shirt is black, then I'll have that dark too. And then I'd say he's wearing pants that are like a brown or mid-tone. Then I would um, make his shirt dark since it's a dark value if it's black. And then sometimes if you want to get fancy, you could leave like reflected light, which is just like light that bounces off of different objects. And then you could shade that in since the reflected light would be a darker tone. And then if his pants were like a brown or a dark gray. So you can also use blacks as like the actual color of items too. And then like kind of mix in and stack those different elements on top. So I could also do some directional lighting as well if I wanted to. And then I could also add like the cast shadow and ambient occlusion that I was talking about. So just kind of like stacking all these different things about light and shadow on top of each other. Yeah, that's kind of like some more basic things that I do with lights and darks and then some light shadow too. Awesome tips. This is where I am in my drawing journey, hungry for knowledge. Thanks for the demo. Yeah, no problem, man. Any tips for hands? I'm not really the best for hands, but hmm, I don't know. A lot of when I draw hands, it's like mostly intuition. But I know like a lot of people recommend kind of like thinking about it. It's like a box and then the fingers coming off as like tubes. So yeah, there's like a hundreds of hand videos out there, but usually when I'm doing hands, I'm just kind of like placing lines and then trying to like make it as I go, and then kind of like come up with um different parts. And then I kind of like add details and things as I'm making the hands. But yeah, I don't really have advice that I could give for hands, but a lot of the times I'm honestly just like winging them and adding what I know as I go. And a lot of hands change like depending on what they're holding and different things. So like if he was holding a gun, then the hand would kind of like bend and wrap around the object and different things like that. I guess a lot of it for me learning hands is just like trial and error and just like just keep attempting it until it looks kind of by hand model, use your own hand. Yeah, I don't really look at my own hand much for things. I kind of just like try to imagine in my head of what a hand would look like from different angles. I think one advice I could give for hands though is oftentimes most angles and different things you won't see all of the fingers. And that's kind of something when I was doing hands before, I used to always try to draw like every finger, especially trying to practice. But like angles like this, you might only see like one or two fingers or like the thumb and different things like that, especially if a character has their hand in the background and different things like that. You might not see the entire hand. So yeah, honestly, if I was gonna practice hands, what I would do is just like um kind of start drawing whatever you know right now about hands. Like you probably know it's like five fingers and that sort of thing. And then if you practice kind of like connecting with other hands and how they would interact with like fingers going through and just kind of like I don't know, like stack hands together. I think that could kind of help get like a feel for how hands like react with and interact with different things. Since hands are like basically how we interact with things, I think maybe just kind of playing around with different things, something like this, and then like this hand, and all these hands are kind of like all together. This is kind of how I'd mess around with hands in one of my sketchbooks, and just kind of like keep playing around, and then like one hand could be holding a sword. Honestly, just the more you play around with it, you'll just get more and more comfortable with kind of changing these different details of it. You love India ink? You don't care for color right now? Yeah, I think ink is pretty cool. I like color, but it's a lot of a setup and a hassle to kind of. And it takes. I think it almost takes longer for me to color something than it actually does to draw it. And I'm mostly like drawing itself. Hey Bryce, hope everything's good. I've seen your videos for some days and they're great. Really make me understand a lot of stuff. I honestly have some problems with faces. How do you practice? Yeah, so like the same thing that I was kind of doing with the hands. You could do the same thing with faces too. And I honestly think like playing around with different things is the best way for me to learn. So it might work for you guys as well. But like so I would like take like anything you currently know about faces. So like um you like know that there's eyes, there's a nose, like lips, um that a face has a forehead, and then like kind of just whatever info you know about a face. Like you know there's cheeks, a chin, and that sort of thing. And then like ear, and it's kind of like whatever you have for information and knowledge about a head. And then what I would do is just kind of like play around and kind of just have fun with it. And I think you'll learn a lot faster that way. And then from here, like most of how I learned wasn't even like studying like what the correct way to draw a face is, but taking features I know about a head and then like just messing around with it. So maybe I wanted to bring the nose outward and make him have sort of a pointy nose. And then I'd mess with the eyes, maybe change his eyes up a bit, and then some eyebrows, and then kind of like come up with a expression that I want him to have. Maybe he's like a little bit angry and kind of like stretch his face. So like I really like cartoons and different things like that. So kind of like almost cartoonizing. I don't even know if that's a word. The character, kind of like caricatures, but then just like add in different features and messing around with him. And then like not really worrying about if it's realistic, but just playing around with these features. And then when I go to learn different details that are more realistic, then I already know I'm very familiar with like drawing eyes, drawing noses and all these things. And then it's just a matter of like putting them in correct spots. So I think this is was the easiest and like most fun way to draw faces. And this kind of like learning process is what I do with everything. And then I would do the same thing, just kind of like a little bit different face, different angle. And then like through doing this, like I just kind of discover new things every time. And then like but yeah, this is kind of how I'd go about drawing faces and things. And then like you could also go and add some shadow. And then this is like more of like I can't really help for um like going off of reference because that's more like observational, but if I was gonna go and learn purely from imagination, I think really getting used to like the different features and how to play around with them. Because drawing from imagination, you have to construct everything on your own, and you don't have any way, like you can't just go and see how something is like while you're drawing. So really the construction part and knowing kind of like what you're working with, I think is the most important. With no matter what you're drawing, like knowing different features and kind of like having muscle memory of how to mess with them. But yeah, I hope that kind of helps for faces. Man, my character hates this samurai. Really helpful, thank you. Surely to put it into practice. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna try zooming in, see if it will focus on us. Now it's showing you right now. I see a happy old man with glasses riding a helicopter. That's very funny. Yeah, I think the most important like thing for drawing from imagination is really just um like playing around with ideas and not so much like accuracy or realistic because I feel like that's like drawing something realistic is more of like the easier part really versus like the harder part I think is like learning all these different materials and how they go together and like that sort of thing in the construction part. Whereas the realistic is just like almost like a measurement of and like more of placement. I don't know if any of that made sense. It just sounds like nonsense, but I've been drawing more for imagination because of you, but just with pencils so far. Yeah, that's all right. I don't think my materials matter. If you like drawing with a pencil, then that's like perfectly fine. I don't think there's like a like a hierarchy system with what you're drawing with. I know a lot of people kind of see like drawing with straight ink as like some sort of flex, but I really don't think it's any different than drawing with a pencil. It's just a different process. Not really like one's better than the other. There's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to both of them. I'm more used to ink pen, but I got Sumi ink and paper rolls ready. That's awesome. I think making marks with ink strengthens your decision making down the line. Yeah, I mean, you can do the same thing with a pencil though. Just take the eraser away and like make your lines more permanent in your head. Like you can definitely still draw in like a very scribbly way with ink and then keep like put in washes over it and still basically mimicking the same thing with a pencil. Hey, what's up? Nice bulletin. Those Japanese Macs are so cool. Yeah, I love the samurai armor. you read Japanese history and looked at samurai art before? I mean, not that much really. I watched a few videos today on like the Mongols attacking Japan. Do your other interests ever distract you from drawing? I tried to sketch something every day, even if it's quick. Yeah, for like the longest time, um, I used to play like a ton of video games, and that would kind of always get in the way of drawing. I know. I think it's like fine to have other interests other than drawing. I mean, if you don't feel like drawing one day, I think it's better to like if you have another interest and you feel like doing that interest more than drawing that day, then I would just say like do which one's gonna be more fun in the moment. Yeah, I'll have to check out their stuff after the stream if I remember to. I used to use this fountain brush a while ago. I had like two of them, one for one that had diluted ink, and then this one was just straight black. But now I have red ink in this one, so I can't really have that set up. So I'll probably just use Sumi E Ink to add some shade. I'm gonna watch old anime. Um, to sleep. Happy John Rice. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream and hanging out for a bit. Do you by any chance like samurai? No. I just draw them because I'm being forced to. There, now I have a dark area. Now my camera will actually focus. Whenever I just have like a little bit of liner, it hates trying to focus. It's okay. On the time lapses, it adds a bit of a cinematic effect. And like half the video is just the camera out of focus. And probably be one of the first things I want to work on is getting a new uh, setup. This character's lucky he's in the foreground. I usually wouldn't add this much detail. Um, when you start drawing, how long have you been learning? Um, I've been drawing since I was like 2 years old, but I didn't draw at all like during school. And then after high school, practiced like fundamentals and things for like a year or two, and then decided it wasn't really working that well for me. So then I have been drawing for the last like 4 years from only imagination. So if you count like actually practicing and things, maybe like 6 years. What made you start practicing? I don't know. Kind of at the time, I just kind of wanted to get better at drawing, really. Saw like a lot of comic artists and different like video game art, I guess. It's kind of like the first thing. And then kind of like finding some path that worked for me to get to a similar outcome. Man, I don't even want to know the amount of hours I have with this freaking fountain brush. Mm. I filled like 2 to 3 of the sketchbooks. It was mostly this brush, well, combined of these two, since the brush nib got really dull. I think on this one, and it's almost like a marker now. Like it doesn't have much line variety anymore, besides either like a very thick line or even like more. just from doling down the bristle. What pen are you using to get those gray values? It's Sumi ink, but like diluted in this cup. And then I have a separate brush. I used to have another fountain brush too that had diluted ink in it too, but that currently has red ink in it. So would a water brush get the same effect? Um, I mean, you could put water over if you have a water brush and you use water-based ink. You could like spread the ink out and get like a shading tone too. I don't have a water brush anymore, but yeah, kind of like yeah, any water-based ink like that adds kind of like watercolor where it smears with water. You could use that for shading. Um, I'm sure you could probably put fountain ink into a water brush and get it diluted, and you could probably get some shade without clogging the water brush too. I tried putting Sumi ink into a water brush and it clogged like instantly and didn't come out. And pretty sure the same would happen with India ink. Thumbnail pretty. Yeah, I did that one yesterday. I can show you guys if you didn't see yesterday's stream. Mm, Yeah, it's a little bit gruesome. This is the one I did yesterday. Answer answer. I'm trying to start practicing values with brush pen, and it's been a hassle trying to figure out the best way to go about it. Yeah, I think yeah, that I would try something like that if you want a more mobile thing. Otherwise, my favorite thing to use for values is like just Sumi ink with like diluted and make it diluted and then just like a separate brush. But yeah, this is from yesterday's stream. Apologies for so many questions, but I'm gonna start incorporating drawing from imagination into my practice. How would you recommend it? I approach it. Biggest roadblock is knowing when to draw. Um, I don't know. For me, like transitioning to drawing from imagination, I kind of just like played around with whatever I like know at the time. Like like the samurai is kind of just like everything I know about a samurai, and then just putting them into like and just kind of like I don't know, like I just kind of like go off of a theme and then kind of like put whatever information I have at the time, and it can be like as bare bones, and then kind of like just playing around with it, changing different features and things, and then kind of like um change things as you go. Like earlier, I talked about um someone asked about faces and just kind of like how I'd learn faces is just kind of like taking the different features that I know of and then changing them up into different faces and different like angles or different expressions, and then just kind of like learning these how these individual features I can like mess around with them and change them, and then it can be pretty much anything you want to work with. But I think if you can play around with these ideas and features and kind of like stretch them and squish them and different things like that, then it'll be, and then once you want to move or like change directions for like if you want to kind of go into, I don't know, a different style or you want to keep making your stuff more realistic or whatnot, then um, it'll be a really easy to transition because you kind of like have played around with these different features and will like know them really well and kind of how to change them and how to manipulate them, and then it'll be kind of easier to, and then from like here going like more realistic would kind of just be like more of learning the positioning of the pieces and kind of like how they're measured, I guess. But yeah, for me, playing around with different things, like even if it's like a gun or rifle or something, I take what I know about the rifle and then change it up however I want. Like maybe I somehow like if there's not a rifle out there that has like a certain clip or something, or maybe I want it to be like a double barrel or add like more of like a modern day scope and just kind of like playing around with these different things and just kind of having fun with it and doing kind of whatever you want because it's kind of like your own worlds where you can do whatever you want and mess around with it however you like. And I think the more you get comfortable with kind of playing inside like your own universe and then changing up those features would be a lot easier. Yo, what's up? Your art so sick. Just followed you on Insta. I was just watching your 3-year progression video. It's amazing. It'd be so dope to see the opposite and have a video of just drawings you didn't finish or didn't like if you have enough. Uh, like I don't know. I don't know how I would do a video like that. How could I find energy to start drawing again? Um, mm, I guess like personally, like if I hit like a burnout or start to like not enjoy or art or find it boring, I guess I would kind of like go back and see what like initially made me have fun with art and kind of like what period I was enjoying art the most, and then kind of like going back and maybe doing like a similar thing or just finding out kind of what makes you enjoy art, I guess. For me, sometimes like learning new things that I can like incorporate into my drawings makes me like motivated to draw. Like if I learn new things about samurai or different weapons and things that I can kind of add into my drawings, then that kind of excites me. And I don't know, I just really like experimenting with different things is kind of why I come back every day to draw, really. I feel like every artist has drawings in even professional struggle, and I always find that inspiring. Even people like Katsuya Terada struggle, but even his drawings are beautiful. Yeah, I think everyone kind of has like their own journey and what they might consider harder struggles. Someone else might think isn't a struggle. So it's like everyone's just so different. Kind of why it's hard for me to give advice, or like a lot of people want like teaching videos and things, but it's hard to all I can do is kind of explain my own experiences and what I'm doing, and it's kind of pretty much all I can do. Is there any art goals you'd like to reach in the future? Like maybe doing a huge mural or improving how you draw certain things? Yeah, I'm kind of always like trying to improve things on each drawing or like each line really. I'm like always kind of learning something. Um, I don't know. I've like done a bunch of like wall drawings and like they're like pretty huge, but I kind of got burnt out of doing that. Like I have a huge paper roll in my room like sitting right in front of me. Um, I guess I can actually show you guys since it's like right in front. Yeah, I have like a huge paper roll in front. That's in my room. But then I got pretty burnt out of drawing that much. So I don't do the like wall drawing as much anymore. Jeez, camera, just focus. Yeah, lately I've just been liking like the smaller drawings since I can kind of like focus more on scenes and kind of like oh my God, this camera. Focus more on scenes and that sort of thing. And then kind of like it's more of a enclosed area. I'll probably go back to doing the bigger drawings sometime in the future. Oh yeah, and they're really hard. They're hard to take photos of. So if I want to do like prints of them or put them in like a future art book or something, that's really difficult to do. And then they're also really hard to record. So like for streams, every time I want to go to a different like point of the drawing, it'd be easier if I had someone else to like record and but yeah, just I I can only do so much on my own, so smaller drawings just make a lot more sense. how do you do the inky effect like Kim Jong-gi? Is that as pen that you use water on, or more like any ink type of thing? What do you mean by inky effect? Oh shoot, I'm gonna take out my docs. I'll be right back. right, I'm back. Like the grayish water looking stuff. Um, like you mean just just the diluted water? Mm, boom, 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 boom. Um, oh, I think if you're talking about like the contour lines with the gray, and it's kind of just it's kind of like a way to add more detail, like kind of add in extra wrinkles and different things that you can't sometimes add with the brush itself, since it would kind of get pretty like chaotic with too much darkness. So it's kind of like a way to add more detail. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I mean, more what is the material? I don't know what you mean. Oh, like a specific ink? I mean, you can do it with any ink. Just dilute it with water, and it'll basically like turn into a gray tone. Yeah, you can do it with permanent inks, pretty much anything. You can also some inks that aren't water resistant, like a lot of water-based inks, you can just like take water on a brush and then kind of like smudge out some of the ink too. Like the color brush is water-based ink. If you the black refills, and you can take water, it's whatever you draw, and you just kind of like smudge it outward. Wait, awesome. Sorry for not explaining it well. Oh, it's all right, man. I just wanted to kind of make sure I'm answering your question. Please, camera, it's right there. I'm gonna get a new phone just to fix this. Focusing. I'd probably just get a camera before a new phone, honestly. Is the pen you're using like a Pentel color brush? No, this is a fountain, like like a fountain pen, but instead it's got a brush end and it has fountain pen ink in it. And you also don't squeeze the back handle part. I like these kinds of brushes, like the ones that I disconnected for a sec. I like the kinds of brushes that you don't have to squeeze because I hate running out of, or like when the bristles get dry, it takes a while for the ink to start passing through again. I like kind of having my lines a bit more consistent. But I'll kind of go back and forth just because it's like a little bit different experience. Awesome. So for all the questions, super informative. I had no problem, man. I like answering questions, trying to help where I can. When you start drawing, did you have any art education? No, I didn't have any art education other than like one class in high school. I guess that kind of counts. But like no, I didn't go to college for art or anything. I started drawing when I was like 2 or 3 years old, and then I didn't draw any during like school or until after high school. Then I kind of like wanted to start practicing and learn some like basic fundamentals, but then it kind of I wasn't having fun with it and it kind of wasn't making art that enjoyable, so I decided to start only drawing from imagination and kind of draw things I want. And I've been like doing that for the last 4 years now. It's drawing only from imagination without any direct reference, and then just kind of like learning from just drawing and experience, and then just learning about things on the side, and then I'll kind of like incorporate those different things I learned into my drawing. You study things by drawing them first, then drawing from imagination. Um, no, I just kind of like, um, I mean, I'll like study, like all of my studying is just like observation, like just looking at things, and then kind of like watching YouTube videos on just like how the functions of like a a rifle or something, or like how samurai armor was, and then I would just kind of like watch and like kind of pick up on any details or shapes of things, and then I'll kind of just go into my sketchbook later, and then or like now basically I'm doing the same thing with the samurai, and then now I'm kind of just like putting down as much information that I learned and kind of want to play around with, and then I just keep like doing that over and over. Kind of the only um, intake of reference in that sort of way. But I never directly draw from the reference because I don't know why, but I just can't learn that way. Like if I try that, I'll just really end up with a drawing where I feel like I like jumped into a time machine and fast forwarded to when it was done, and I don't even remember anything that happened like along the way. I don't know why, but it just doesn't stick. I like doing what you do, but I also love to study stuff by drawing it. Probably prefer studying it more so though. Yeah, I'm more of the type of person that just likes playing around with things and kind of just like I don't know. I like the more sandbox aspect of drawing rather than trying to get like I don't know how to really explain it. One of my goals like a few years ago was kind of like I was imagining if I was like on an island and kind of like stranded on an island, and all I had was nothing but water, sand, and that was it. But then I had like a ton of sketchbooks, or like I was able to draw with, like a stick in sand, whatever. Then I'd want to be able to draw like whatever I wanted to, and kind of like have enough have learned enough information to where I wouldn't get bored on this island, and I'd be able to just still like draw basically anything. without always needing something in front of me. That's an awesome goal. Yeah, I mean, I would never want to be on probably a stranded island unless I like absolutely needed to, but just kind of like the mindset of it really. Mostly the whole idea of it is just kind of to I don't want to have like a reliance on outside sources. It's kind of the whole thing. Who are your favorite artists? Um, I mean, Kim Jong-il is definitely up there. Um, I like Katsuo Terada. One of my favorite artists is definitely the artist that did the manga Claymore. I really like his work. And then I mean a lot of the super Annie people like Karl Kapinski, Peter Hahn, a lot of those people I used to really like. I don't really look at much art anymore. Like I used to look at a lot of artists and stuff, but recently, in like the last year, I mostly just been into like movies and more of like historical things, which is kind of funny. But yeah. I mean, I like all of the I like Spirited Away, House Moving Castle, and all of the Ghibli films. Mm, there's also a few like comic artists too that I like. Carl is easily my favorite. Your favorite? Yeah, I mean that's understandable. You probably see his influence. Yeah, Carl's really good. Mm. Like a few years ago when I was learning to draw more from imagination, I tried like the his sort of like pencil to ink like kind of like scribbling in some sort of like gesture and form and then inking over it. And yeah. I just that definitely didn't vibe with me, but It's cool that he's kind of able to make that work. Oh, I forgot to mention like Mobius too. Yeah, I love doing that though. I aim to improve it, but I'm definitely more industrial in my sketchbook. It's like that. Loving his line work too. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. He said, yeah, Mobius is dope. He's a huge inspiration for Carl and Katsuya. Yeah, I knew Katsuya really liked Mobius. I didn't know Carl liked Mobius. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, he's mentioned him a few times, and he's done some inspired sketches, I believe. You can see it in the way he uses lines to wrap around form. Hmm. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. My rabbit's going crazy. Daniel Warren Johnson's comments both are in story amazing. I'll have to check him out. Currently reading Vagabond, watching this is like therapy. Yeah, Vagabond. I love the art in it. I read like the first two books of it, but I don't know. I'm not much of like a comic or manga person. But yeah, the art in it is really really cool. I'm gonna draw with you. That's awesome, dude. I always like when uh hearing people also kind of like drawing along. It's motivating. It's kind of weird to say, but I feel like it's like hard to find like samurai art or like not many people draw much for samurais, which sounds funny because like samurais are like pretty popular. Um, but whenever I used to look up like different samurai things, it's like always the three like same same drawings. I'm sure that's a lot more now with AI. Yeah, your dad wanted to draw him as an Oni, but it's always hard to find the right image. Yeah, it's kind of why I decided to start drawing only for imagination too, because then I don't have to like go and look up an image. Um, but yeah, now for like when I want to learn about samurai stuff, I kind of have to go to like and look at like actual armor that's in like museums now, and then kind of like put pieces together like a character. Yeah, my favorite Oni mask is I think it's like the most common, but it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically like the Oni is like frowning or sad if you like have it tilted a certain way. And then then if you like tilt the mask down, I think, then it becomes angry. I thought that was like the coolest thing. 'Cause it has such a unique like like dual expression to it. But I think that's one of the more common Oni masks. I ended up drawing him as Squadto Oni, if you want to look that. I'll have to look up after the stream what that is. I don't have my computer on right now. You should look up Moon is following us. Some of the covers are so good and super addictive too. Yeah, I have to check that out. You have any other hobbies? I love action figures, Legos. Um, Other than drawing, probably just uh, like occasionally I'll play video games. I used to play like non-stop before and get like super addicted to them. But nowadays, mostly drawing, but like I really like movies and shows. And then I like lift weights and run too during the week. With that and then like making YouTube videos and things pretty much takes up most of my time. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I stopped playing games when I started pursuing art. Yeah, I feel like I don't know, like for me, I think mostly liked games a lot because of the art and kind of like that you get to immediately like play around with like a whole different three-dimensional world. But like lately, I feel like I've gotten to a point with like art where I can kind of like play around with different things, and it's kind of enough to like for me to I don't know, like stimulate that like visual part of my brain that wants to like see cool stuff happen or different things, then I kind of just like do that on the page. Whereas before it was kind of just like if I wanted to see like a cool battle scene or something, then I would just like go and like hop on a game and get that experience. But yeah, now movies and shows are kind of like downloading information that then I go and like can mess around with while I'm drawing. only halfway though, because I got way too busy with college, but I was thoroughly enjoying Black Myth Wukong, especially the themes and style environments. Yeah, the style and the art for that looks really, really beautiful. Yeah, I really like the art for like Elden Ring too. I I couldn't get into it though. So I don't like those styles of games. I don't even mind that it's like hard, but um I don't really like doing the same boss multiple times over and over. Yeah, Bukon is the only when I played that's kind of style. I still can't wait to finish it though. It's amazing. Yeah. Um spoiler alert, but I've seen like some of the tiger bosses and those look pretty cool. Not really a spoiler, but the tigers are pretty cool in that game. I'm sure they like showed them in the trailer or something. Can I see the finished parts of the drawing from last night? Yeah, I have my sketchbook right here. Oh yeah, the Tiger Vanguard. Yeah, he definitely looked the coolest. I watched a few people play, and he was definitely my favorite character. Yeah, this is how the one from last night turned out. Mm. After the stream, I went through and like added a bunch of blood and things. Mostly just the blood is what I added after the stream. It doesn't really all fit on the page, but yeah, a bunch of zombies attacking. Like they have the wings. Yeah, I kind of like putting like a cupid or angel when a lot of nets to like a lot of violence or zombies. It kind of has like a cool contrasting idea to it. They're making a figure of the Tiger Vanguard, like like an action figure or like a statue kind of thing. How'd you do the smudge effects? Um, it only works with like well, it works with a lot of inks, but the Pentel color brush and like Crayola marker or like anything very water-based ink will usually work pretty well for the smudge shading. I mean, there's like fountain, like the fountain ink I'm using right now. It like doesn't really smudge as well, but if I take like, I mean, you could kind of just go and play around with a bunch of different ink, but I guess it doesn't. Well, once it has a lot of ink, it starts to smudge a little better. But you could just kind of like go around and play with the different, like the this Pilot pen that I have works pretty well for smearing. But it's kind of very ink dependent and also paper dependent. Like this paper is not very good at it. But something like Bristol paper, or I don't even know what the paper is in that sketchbook, but it works a lot better on the more smooth. Yeah, I just use my finger for the smudging. It's gonna be an action figure with possibility and accessories. That'd be actually pretty cool. Only if he has like the blood on him though. You experimenting with it, but you want to try more? Yeah, it's definitely like I don't prefer to add tone that way or shading that way, but it's kind of nice when you don't have anything else, like you don't have water or like a big setup nearby, then it's at least some way to get shadow. And I really don't like hatching for drawing. So yeah, sh- shading that way definitely is pretty good. Right now it's an unpainted prototype so far, so hopefully they can do two versions. Some companies do that where they do blood versions as well as a clean version. Yeah, I'll probably have to do that for my drawings later if I keep kind of doing the more bloody scenes. I'll have to see how YouTube does with it too. Um, once I actually get monetized. I mean, worst case, I just turn everything like black and white or like um just kind of turn the saturation down. Why are you not monetized yet? I have to like get a certain amount of watch time, like hours on my videos and streams and things. But I'm pretty sure like I will be monetized probably like in the next couple days, but YouTube has like a 5 day delay. So like in the next couple days I'll probably hit like the watch time for it. But yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to hopefully get monetized and then I can do this a lot longer for everyone. Is there any characters you'd like to draw that you either haven't drawn in a while or at all that you like to draw now? Um, yeah, I was thinking of doing like some fan art of like this superhero like any Marvel DC thing. And I kind of want to I'll probably do it maybe sometime soon. I want to do like a big action scene of like just any Marvel superhero DC thing that I like, and then kind of like put them all into some like battle scene, kind of like a bunch of my other drawings, and just kind of like I don't know. I really want to do like Wolverine, Iceman, maybe put like Batman in there. I'm not really a huge Batman fan, but I do like his character design with the black. So he could be fun to draw at least. I don't know, like Deadpool. I'll just kind of like throw them all in and do the best from my memory as I can to kind of like remember what they look like. I did that with Alice in Wonderland and Snow White, and that was a lot of fun, just kind of like trying to think hard on what they look like. And it's kind of fun to like look up on Google and just like images after I'm done or kind of see them later and then be like, oh, I definitely like to see how different they look. Gambit, Beast, Daredevil, Moon Knight. I don't know if I'll draw Thanos, but that's kind of funny. Yeah, Moon Knight could be cool. Are those your favorite Marvel characters? Yeah, I'll try to fit as many as I can in the drawing. Not sure how many I'll actually be able to do. Like the Alice in Wonderland, I wanted to do a lot more, but kind of ran out of room real quick. Ghost Rider, not really. The rest are probably my favorites. I have a lot of favorites though. Storm, can't go wrong with any Jim Lee X-Men. Yeah. How long have you been drawing for? I love your work. I've been kind of like drawing since I was 2 to 3 years old, but then um I didn't draw much during my school years and kind of did like fundamental practice for like a year or two after high school, and then decided to just draw from only imagination for like the last 4 years. So maybe like 6 years. You're really good. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm kind of wondering, for this dragon, I wanted to do both spikes and hair on its back. I think I'll add the hair on the side. It'd be kind of cool. Very nice stuff. I draw too. It's inspiration to watch you draw from imagination. I feel like all of these could be very good loading screens. Just samurai slaying a dragon. You do any professional work? No. I don't think I would like working for a company. I kind of just like drawing what I want, or even hope to, if not. Nah, probably not something I would want to do. Maybe down the road, if someone came to me and was like, "Hey, draw what you want with like this theme," then maybe. But like, I don't know. That's kind of fair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like all the approval things from what I heard. Like, I wouldn't want to do like multiple iterations of the same things. Like, that would drive me crazy. You ever draw, or use any other mediums? I haven't painted in a long, long time, but I get like the stuff I kind of do with the ink is sort of like a painting mix between like painting and drawing. Um, but yeah, I've like tried digital every now and then. I don't really like the feeling of it. Like it feels so detached from like traditional art. I kind of like the attachment that you get with like on paper. And I like waking up the next morning and like seeing my drawing right in front of me, or like if I like leave the room and then come back, I like that my drawings like right there. Um, yeah, digital. I kind of don't like that when you turn off the screen, your drawing's gone. And a lot of the tools and brushes, like I haven't really found one that I like. Kind of like just like how traditional art feels. In the same way, I hate how glassy it feels. It's like giving you depth perspective, really messing with my head. Yeah, I feel like I'm like lost. Like yeah, especially on the trying to do something perspective wise. But yeah, the glossy and the screen in between where you're actually drawing is like yeah, it just kind of messes with your head. Yeah, I get that. I can't even ever really imagine myself doing digital, honestly. Yeah, I kind of started off actually wanting to do digital art because like I used to really like the splash art for like League of Legends, and a lot of video game art is digital. So I always thought that stuff was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I kind of started doing traditional art because like a lot of comic book artists that I like, and like I mean Karl Kopinski, Kim Jong-il, Katsu Terada at the time was doing traditional art, and so I kind of just gave that a go and haven't really looked back too much. I kind of wish that I liked digital art though, because there's a lot of advantages. You don't have to worry about taking photos of your art or scanning them. Kind of just like plop that in. Plus, you don't need any materials either. Like you don't need to keep like buying ink or like markers can get kind of expensive for color and like digital art color is like the least concerning thing. I did some drawings digitally before I started learning to draw, and I was like, man, I suck at drawing. So then I decided to learn how to draw and wanted to do pencils for comics. Yeah, I kind of started with the same sort of thing. I wanted to do some kind of comic thing with pencils too, and then I found out I didn't like pencils. Doing pencils for comics seemed kind of cool for me until I realized that you have like someone who inks it after you, and then you have like, oh, okay, well, you have a writer usually um that pretty much determines what you draw, and then after you pencil it, then you have a inker who's going to um like change how your drawing looks, and then you have people that color it afterwards, which changes it again. And then yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be comfortable with like so many changes, and I feel like pe like people would never see like how the actual drawing looks. I mean, you can see like pencils of artists and that sort of thing, but I started off wanting to do comics, but I really want to learn how to draw like Carl, you and Katsuya and Kim. Peter Moos is such a yeah, it's pretty cool that I'm pretty sure Mobius used mostly ink. I used to think that the like drawing with ink was kind of rare for artists, but then I found out like there's like a few artists pretty long ago, like I can't remember his name, but from like 1930-ish, there was an artist that drew with like he was doing comics and he was using from what they said he was just using a brush and like drawing out the whole comic. You can do inks on your own now. Lots of people do their own inks traditionally and digitally nowadays. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do your own inks and color and everything if you want. I was gonna say Henry Clay. Oh yeah, he was pretty much doing a similar thing. Yeah, I don't remember the artist's name. I should look it up again. I think my main goal is to draw anything and everything from imagination, and short term I want to learn inks and improve on some smaller stuff. Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. Mm. Yeah, what I found from like imagination is like the most important thing in my opinion is playing around with different features and things. I think that's like out of like anything, I think that's the most important for drawing from imagination at least with like out reference. I'll make it one day, that's for sure. Yeah, you'll probably get there quicker than you think. Well, this dragon is not having the best day. think the thing I could work on most is creating poses from my head. Do you have a plan for poses beforehand, or you just kind of make them up on the spot? I think it's also based of repetition, maybe. Yeah, I don't really have anything like decided ahead of time. And like even on like the samurai, like I just go from piece to piece and I don't have like an idea of what I want the whole thing to be. But it's kind of like if you think of it kind of like a like action figure, I guess. How you can kind of like they have different parts to them and kind of like if I'm starting on the face and kind of like um rendering out like some kind of Oni mask and making it pretty detailed as I go and that sort of thing. I'm not like worried about the rest of the body, but just focusing on the face at the time. And then I can kind of like go through and basically only focus on the head and kind of how I want the headpiece. And then I just work my way down the character further and further and then not really worried about the rest of the character. And then as I get down to like the neck or things that connect into the rest of the character, then I'll kind of think of different armor pieces and things like that. But from here, I can pretty much do whatever pose I want, unless it requires like the head tilting. But usually I'll pick something that kind of like goes with this idea. So like there's still the whole body can basically be doing whatever it wants. Like I can still tilt him outward and have the sword like somewhere out here, and basically like still tilt the rest of the body over if I need to. So I'm kind of like rendering things, but there's always like so many options to like even though I have the head in a certain spot, it doesn't mean that I can't just like continuously change the character. And like it's different depending on where I start off. Like if I did a character here and he started off at this angle, I kind of like think of different poses he might be able to do from this position and then kind of like adapt it outward from that. So like from this point, he could be like holding a sword outward, like the other character, or he could be like holding a gun. Give him a revolver or something. But yeah, there's like it's pretty based on kind of where I start with, but there are like so many options for posing and from wherever you start at. Sometimes if I want more of a dynamic pose too, like I want a sword like pretty far into the foreground, then I'll kind of like start with the hands, or I'll start with whatever is like the main thing or something that is pushed the furthest into the foreground. So like if I wanted an undershot or worm's eye and someone's foot is going to be like on the floor, then I would start with the foot and then kind of like work my work my way up from that and then kind of like think what poses are available from that. I disconnected for a second there. But yeah, so it's a lot of like positioning and then kind of like basically thinking in my head of different poses that could come out from that. Every time I try to draw with no reference, I always end up having other things in the way of what I want to do. Like I just drew the body, but now I want an arm there. Mm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes if that happens to me and I like really really want the arm there, sometimes I'll just draw through it. Like we said you drew the body in the way and then you want the arm. Mm, mm. Okay, so I guess if you started with the body, um and yeah, I guess this kind of happens a lot. You start with the body and then yeah, this is the head. You start with the body and then you want like the hands. Maybe I wanted him holding the hands out front. Sometimes I will just kind of like if I really wanted to force this, I'll kind of like mask my lines over top, and sometimes I can just kind of like force it to still go. And then yeah, even with straight ink, I'll just still like kind of force the thing in. And even like this other arm, I'd want it to crisscross to maybe also get his hands on that other piece. And then I can always like cover it up even if it's crossing like that with some water and then kind of like shade through and kind of still get away with it because of the light sources. And I could go like darker with ink and then the light area. Or I mean, I could also, if this is something I really wanted to cover up, I kind of like doing like a detail on the part of the shirt here, so I would just draw over it and keep detailing. So I guess with like just playing around with lights and darks, um, and you could also like add more black on the underhang here and like fits it that way. So yeah, there's kind of always a way out of a situation. But a lot of times if I draw like the situation you just talked about, if I drew the body and wanted an arm out or vice versa, then I would kind of just like draw something that would still worked with that character and then I would draw like another character with that idea that I wanted to do. basic things. Yeah, hope it kind of helped a little bit. Yeah, I noticed I've been doing that a lot lately, especially in my sketchbook where it's like I don't really care if um there's like some lines from like the chess piece going through the arm or different things like that, then just kind of work with it. Add some scales to this dragon. Kind of love seeing those lines in pieces like ours. It's kind of weird, but doing scales is actually kind of fun. Even though it's like super repetitive, I kind of like wrapping them around the dragons. Might honestly just leave this drawing as the dragon and the samurai. I kind of like the like feeling with the big open white space. It kind of reminds me of like panels where someone's gonna strike and then like they do and then it's like I don't know. It's almost like a silence kind of thing. I think this ink is actually from the fountain pen might be a little bit water based because I noticed when I was doing the shirt that the gray got a lot darker than like the horse, which is actually pretty good for what I usually try to go for. Always better to underdo something than overdo it. Yeah, I like to overdo it and see how far it can go. It's kind of funny. I would probably say I'm like the opposite. I like to overdo things so that I know how far I can take it. Whereas if I'm always underdoing it, then I don't know. I'll never know kind of how far I can go. But this one I'm probably gonna leave it at this. I still don't know what I want to do for the cover of my art book, so this is maybe a runner up since it's more simple. Oh my god, I forgot his other leg. That's wild. I think I'll do this back arm dark just to make the head a little bit easier to see. Did you study an art related course at um, uni? No, I didn't go to college for anything. I feel like even with your style, despite it being extremely complicated, still say each element is not overdone. If that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, that's understandable. An art book would be crazy. Um, Not quite what you meant by underdoing it. Yeah, I like have all the photos taken and cleaned up all of them. I'm just kind of like have to do the next parts. But yeah, this could be a pretty cool cover. I have to see though if it'll work. Mm. Oh, you're saying by underdoing it for the leg? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just I won't add the rest of the half of the character. Mm, Nets parts? What do you mean by that? Doo, doo, doo. Yeah, I think probably gonna finish this up. I may have misheard you. Oh, next parts for the books. Oh, yeah. I have like everything, all the photos edited and things like that. Now it's just kind of like compiling it and actually rearranging it and figuring out kind of the page layout, the book layout part. And also the cover and things like that. Mm. But yeah, it kind of works out though, cause my dad is a graphic designer, so I'm a little bit spoiled to have him help with some parts of the book. So yeah, I think that's probably gonna do it for this stream. I'm gonna go eat something, and so yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for everyone watching the stream and hanging out. Today has been really fun. Glad to be streaming again and have the time to do it. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Amazing work. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.